let us talk about object oriented programming now. Okay, I'll just create a new project known as day 2, and we'll see what objects are, how they are used in Selenium, right? Most of you must be knowing what objects are, but let me talk about them in more detail. Right. Now, suppose I have a new class, okay, and I will call that class as say phone. So this is a phone class. Now, what are the features of the phone class? What are the components of a phone? Right. So, for example, string name of the phone, in price of the phone. So, these are the two simple components of every phone or properties of every phone. So, I've declared the variables by the properties in this class. Right. And let me create a new class known as test with the main function. In phone class, I did not keep the main function. We just cannot execute. I have kept the main function inside the test class. Alright. Now what I will do is that I will do something known as creating object of the phone. Okay. We will create the object of the phone class out. How do you create the object of the phone class? You create it by typing new phone. If you type this, then this means that you are creating object of the phone class. Alright. Now, what do you mean by object? What happens actually in the memory? Right. When you write this code inside the memory, you will have the object of the phone class created. Okay. Inside this object, there will be two properties, name and price. Okay, let me draw it on MS Paint directly. Just 1 minute. Yeah. An object will be created. Inside this object, two properties would be there, name and price. Okay, right. So you can manipulate these properties, give them values inside the object. You can create as many objects you want. I can create another phone object, new phone. So what will happen is that another object will be created in the memory, which will have the properties name and price. Okay. Now these phone objects, they cannot be accessible. They're just hanging in the memory. To access them, you have to use something known as object reference. You can write like this, phone P1 equals to new phone and phone P2 equals to new phone. P1 and P2 will become references to these objects. With P1 and P2, uh, you can point towards the object and you can change the state of the object. So what happens is that P1 will point here and P2 will point here. Okay, so P1 and P2 are known as object references. They point towards the object. Object is different, object reference is different. This is object reference P2 and this is the object. Okay, right. Now I can change the state of the object with object reference, I can write over here, hold on, p1 dot name. Okay, when you write p1 dot, you will get a lot of things, right? In which name and price will be two properties, okay, which you will be getting for p1, and you can write over here that p1 dot name is say iPhone 10, p1 dot price is 700, right? Similarly, for p2 you can write p2 dot name is Samsung. Okay, p2 dot price is 300. So p1 and p2, like this is the phone class, right? It's just having name and price. I can create different objects of this phone class, and for every object I can give the variable a new value. Okay, right. Anybody with any questions? Any questions? I can give this name as this was iPhone 700 and this was Samsung, right? Okay. Now, if I write over here, say phone P3 equals to null, what does this mean? This means that P3 is a reference towards an object which is not existing right now. Object and object references, they are different. Okay. On the next line, I can decide that fine, P3 will point towards the phone object. It is similar to writing like I can declare int I equals to 0. On the next line, I can declare I equals to 100, something like this. Okay, so object is and object references, they are different. Anyone with any questions? Right. Now you can make one object point towards different one reference point towards different objects as well. Suppose I write over here system.out.println p1.name. Okay, and I similarly write over here p2.name. So when you run this program, you will see that it will print the phone names respectively. However, if I write p1 equals to p2, now this is something which will change the game. Okay, now p1 will be removed from here, and p1 would point towards the same location where p2 is pointing. Okay, right. So if I print the same thing out here, and if I run this program, see, it prints Samsung for both of them because p2 was Samsung. So objects are constant in the memory. References can point from one object to another. Okay, any of these references p1 and p2 can change the value of p1 and p2. Okay, of the object, sorry. If I write over here, say p1 dot name is z, and if I again print both these values, and if I run this program, It will print Z for both of them. Okay, so you have this class test phone in which you have created the object of the phone class. And with that object, you can access the object reference, you can access the properties inside the object. Okay, object references, they can be moved from one object to another object. That is possible. All right, fine. Now, these properties in the phone class, look at these properties. These properties are known as non-static. This is non-static global variable. Okay, this is what is static. I'm coming over to that now. This is also non-static global variable. Now suppose I have a variable integer number of batteries. Okay, number of batteries. So if I write over here p1 object, and if I write over here p1 dot number of batteries equals to 1, and similarly p2 dot number of batteries equals to 1. So what will happen is that there will be a variable number of batteries. The value will be 1 for every object. Okay, right. But this doesn't make any sense, because all the objects, all the phones, obviously they have got one batteries. So you just cannot just initialize this object again and again with number of batteries to 1. Right, it doesn't make sense because you know that the default value is 1 only. Right. So what we do is that we remove this property from the object by writing static. If I write static, then this property never remains the part of the object. Okay, it will reside somewhere at the common location in the memory. Somewhere over here, a common location. Okay, number of batteries. Okay, and all the objects can access this from the common location. All right, fine. So out here, to initialize the battery, you can simply write phone dot number of batteries equals to 1. Static components can be accessed directly with the name of the class. Non-static have to be accessed with the object. Over here you will see a yellow warning sign. This yellow warning basically tells you that number of batteries is not the part of the object. It's not recommended to use it like this. Okay, you should not access static components with the object. Okay, static components can be directly accessed with the name of the class. Phone dot. If I put my cursor in front of this dot and hit a control space bar, you will see number of batteries variable coming up. Okay, you can access it directly with the name of the class, and it is common for all the objects. So this variable is known as a static global variable. Alright, so there are two types of variables, non-static variables and static variables. Similarly, coming over to functions, there are two types of functions. For example, if I write a function public void call, and if I print it calling from and the name of the phone. So call function will be a non-static function. This is a non-static function. Non-static things are part of the object. Okay, so the call function will be there in both the objects. Call function will be out here as well as here. Alright, so from my class over here, if I write p1.call and p2.call, when if I run this code, it will print calling from iPhone and calling from Samsung. When p1.call is called, okay, it is printing calling from and the name of the phone. It will print the name of p1, which is iPhone. Okay, when p2.call will be called, it will call and print the name of p2, which is Samsung. I hope you got my point. Alright, fine. Now you can have a function like public void add sim. You can make it static. So when you make it static, this becomes a static function and it can be called directly with the name of the class. Phone dot, you will get the option add sim. It doesn't become the property of the object. So in nutshell, basically, if it is a non-static property, you have to create the object to access it. For static properties, you can directly access it without the object. If I try to access the name property directly, you cannot access it. You cannot write phone.name equals a. It will give you an error because name is a non-static property. To access non-static, you have to create the object of the class. It's pretty simple, right? If you just think it's in a direct way, then there are two properties, static, non-static, static directly with the class, non-static with the object. Okay, and we use these things in Selenium. Okay, we use them. Right, I'll tell you how we use them. Let me add the Selenium jar files in this project. Okay, I've told you the concepts of object-oriented programming now, static, non-static. Now I'm going to tell you how we use them in Selenium. Yesterday I had told you that we how to download the jar files, right, for Selenium from Java build path, libraries. You have to add external jars and hold on and we had downloaded the latest version 3.12, right. Also add the jars, all the jars in the lib folder. Don't miss that. Okay, right. In reference libraries, you get all the jars. Make sure you are inside the Java perspective. Okay, then you will get the reference library section. Now I will create a new class known as Basics Selenium. Basic Selenium drivers. Alright, if you open or if you go to the official website of Selenium, fine. If you go to seleniumhq.org, and out here if you go to the download section, you will see a Java doc link. Right. You click on this Java doc link and the Selenium documentation will open out here. Okay. These are the classes inside Selenium. Alright. All the classes. We create the objects of these classes. Right. If you scroll down, you will see that it's alphabetically arranged. If you scroll down, you will see something known as WebDriver written over here. Okay, interface WebDriver. And these are all the implementing classes. Alright, Chrome driver, Edge driver, event firing web driver, Firefox driver. Right. Now, what do you mean by implementing classes? I will tell you about the word. I don't want to go into that. Basically, I want to tell you that these are the driver classes available in Selenium. Okay, Chrome driver, as the name suggests, it works on Chrome. Edge driver will work on Edge. Firefox on Firefox. So for every browser, you have a different driver. Remote web driver is used in case of Selenium Grid when you have to run your scripts parallelly. Okay, so let us check out these drivers one by one. Okay, every driver, if you click on the every driver, it will have a particular class. Alright, so what you can do is you can create the object of Firefox driver. For example, you can write new Firefox driver and you move the mouse over the error, you can import Firefox driver. Right. Okay, it will give you the option to import if you have the jars added. If I run this code just by creating the object of Firefox driver, you will see that in my machine, a blank Firefox will open up, not in your machine. It won't open in your machine. I will tell you the reason later on. Okay, you will get an error. Alright, what you need to do is that basically I'll tell you, you need to go to this website, seleniumhq.org, go to the Selenium website, go to the download section, and in the download section, go to the Mozilla Gecko driver link and go to latest over here. These are the third party drivers. You have to download them to make Firefox work. Okay, go to the latest version and download it for your operating system. For 32-bit Windows, 64-bit Mac, Linux, anything. Okay, download the zip file, extract it. In my PC, I have it extracted over here. You will get a file known as geckodriver.exe. Okay, you will get this particular file. Don't run this exe, you won't achieve anything. Okay, what you need to do is that you need to copy the path of this exe and go to your code and write this line. System dot, look, system is an internal class in Java. Okay, right. You can write system dot, you will get lot of static functions which can be directly accessed with the class. One of the static function is system dot set property. Okay, the key is WebDriver dot Gecko dot driver. The value for this is Gecko driver dot exe. Alright, so the key is WebDriver dot Gecko dot driver and the value is the path to the exe Gecko driver exe. Alright, and you can create the object of Firefox driver by writing Firefox driver fd equals to new Firefox driver. So what will happen is, if you run this code after this, or if you don't give the reference as well, that is not a problem. If you run this code after this, you will see that a blank Firefox will open up. Right. Now, with this Firefox driver object, you can control Firefox. If I write over here Firefox driver dot, you will get lot of static functions which are available inside the Firefox driver class. Okay, Firefox driver fd is the object, right? Okay, so you can get, for example, you write the get function and give the URL http yahoo.com, you will be taken to Yahoo. Look, the thing is, this mentioning the protocol is important. If you don't mention the protocol, it won't work. It is not like UFT or QTP where the protocol is optional. Okay, right. So when you run this code, you will see a Firefox will open up and it will be taken to the respective website. Fine. Okay, right. Now, this line is important. People generally make mistake. They keep sometimes W capital or something. No, it is a case sensitive thing. Please be careful. Okay, please be careful about this. Fine. Now, now you have to write, you have to work with Chrome as well. To work with Chrome, you have got something known as Chrome driver. You can create the object of Chrome driver and work with Chrome. You can write Chrome driver. Make sure you have the latest Chrome installed. For Firefox, I'll tell you, look, what happens is, suppose the latest version of Selenium right now is 3.12 and the latest, I'm just talking about version dependencies. The latest version of Firefox is say Firefox 59. I'm just assuming that this is the latest version. Suppose 3.12 is supporting 59, then everything will work. But suppose Firefox guys, they change the version to 60, right? And Selenium is 3.12 only. Then we start getting error. So I always ask people two things to do. First is that use a little older version of Firefox. Okay, it will never give you issue. Like if the current version is 59, use 58 or 57. It doesn't really make a difference if you are learning. Okay. And second thing is that from tools options in Firefox, okay, turn off the updates. You search for Firefox updates. Always check this option. Never check for updates not recommended. Please don't let Firefox automatically update itself. Okay. Second thing is turn off automatic updates in Firefox. Alright. So these are the two things which you need to do when you're working with Firefox. For Chrome, make sure that you are working with latest Chrome. Latest Chrome is always supported. Okay, you move your mouse over Chrome driver, import Chrome driver, and when you run this code, you will see that you will get an error. In my case, Chrome will open. Okay, but in your case, again error will come up because again for Chrome, you have to download this Chrome driver exe. Okay, from the third party drivers under download section, you have to download the Chrome driver exe. Right, go to this link and download for your operating system. For Windows 34-bit, 32-bit or 64-bit, this zip file will work. It doesn't matter, this zip file will work for both Windows 32-bit as well as 64-bit. Fine. And when you have downloaded, you will see this chrome driver.exe file. All you need to do is the same thing. You have to write over here the same command, the system.set_property webdriver dot chrome.driver, and in the value you give the path of chrome driver.exe. This is important. Fine. And now if you run this, your Chrome will open and you can take Chrome to, hold on, any website, http say pc.com. So when you run this code, Chrome will open up and Chrome will be taken to that website. Right. Okay. So this is simple. Alright. So for Chrome, make sure that you are working with latest Chrome and latest Chrome driver.exe. Okay. Right. Now we have another browser known as Internet Explorer. Well, for Internet Explorer, you have got Internet Explorer driver. This is the driver. Right. You create the object for this. You write internet. Look, if I just write internet and if I hit the control space bar of my keyboard, it will give me all the classes which are starting with the word internet. Okay, you have the Internet Explorer driver class over here. Okay, you can select that or you can keep on typing as well. It will keep the class names sorted and you can select the one which you want and it will get automatically imported as well. Okay, you can create the object for this, right? Internet Explorer driver, right? And for I also you have drivers. You have the driver exe file. Okay. On in the download section, you will see Internet Explorer driver. Based on your 32-bit I or 64-bit I, download the exe from this link. Okay, right. And give the command system.setProperty webdriver.i.driver to the value of the place where you download the iDriver exe. Okay, so you will give same location and iDriver server.exe, you can give the path. Okay, and you can write over here i.get, that is go to the website http yahoo.com. So when you run this code, look, this is very case sensitive thing. Make sure you give the right wording and hold on, I'll again run this. You see that it will come over to Yahoo. Okay, right. Now For I, you have to make sure few things, right? First of all, hold on, hold on. First of all, in I, make sure that the zoom level is set to 100%. If it is not 100%, it will give you issue. Okay, so zoom level 100. Microsoft has actually stopped the development of I further on, but there are still some companies which use, otherwise Edge has come up. Okay, right. And the second thing is go to tools, internet options, and go to privacy, or hold on, go to security. There are four sections over here. Make sure that the leveler, this leveler is at the same location for four sections if it is not working. Okay, this leveler, and disable this checkbox. Don't enable the protected mode, make it disabled. Alright, these. So same leveler at same location. Disable protected mode for all the zones. And also go to tools, internet options, go to advanced, scroll down, hold on, hold on. Under security, check this option, allow active content to run files on my computer. In case of I, you have to select this checkbox. Okay, right. So allow the active content. These are the few things which you need to be sure about I. The version of I is not going to change because obviously the Microsoft it's not developing I any further. Now we have got Edge these days. Okay, and for Edge we have the Edge driver. Okay, under the download section or over here you will see that Edge driver is there. Okay, so you can create the object of Edge driver. You can write over here Edge driver new Edge driver, right? And for Edge again you have an exe file. You go to the download section and scroll down. Under third party drivers you will see Microsoft Edge driver. Open this link and you will be taken to Microsoft website. Okay, there will be a download section over here. Now open your Edge browser yourself. Okay, in the Edge browser, go to go to settings, scroll down. You will see that Microsoft Edge HTML version is 17.17.17134. For me, this is the version. And under the download section, this is the exe file for this release. You can click on this and download the exe for Microsoft Edge from here. Alright, and keep it on your in your PC. So make sure you download it for your particular version. Okay, there are different release versions. Make sure you download it for your version. And you give the command system, hold on, the same command system dot set property webdriver dot edge dot driver to the path of Edge driver EX, Microsoft Edge driver EX. All right, 1 minute. And now if you run this ed.get, go to the URL http amazon.in. So when you run this code, Edge will open and it will take you to that website. Okay, it's giving me some error. Hold on. Selenium. Okay, 1 minute. Just a minute. I think I need to restart PC. Some Edge exe might be started. Yeah, I think I'll restart my PC and then this will be fine. Just hold on. Just 1 minute. I think I need to restart my PC or something. But it's okay. For you, it will work. Right. Now, the thing is, you don't need to write this line system.set property again and again. Again and again, you are writing this line. Okay, I need to restart my PC. Edge will start working. There are few things I was doing with Edge yesterday, maybe because of that. Okay, but it works. I've worked on it many times, so don't worry. Okay, so look, every time I want to work with a driver, okay, I have to write system.set property. Now you can actually overcome this. You can go to my computer properties. Okay, basically keep all the exe files at a common location in your PC. Copy that location. Okay, go to my computer properties and go to advanced system settings, and you will see this window coming up. Click on environment variables where you will have this window. In system variable, okay, scroll down, you will see a path variable. Okay, in all the operating systems, you will see the path variable. Edit this variable. In Windows 10, you will see a screen like this. In Windows 7 or 8, it will be a different screen. But I'll tell you for both the Windows. For Windows 10, you see this screen and say you want to create a new path and give the path where you have got all the driver files located on your system. Okay, right. In case of Windows 7 or Windows 8, you will have a, hold on, you will have a screen like this. Okay, variable value. Go to the end of this variable value. Don't fiddle with it. It's very crucial. Okay, put a semicolon, and give the value of the driver's path. Okay, after putting the semicolon. Fine, click on OK, OK, and you will have to restart your PC. Alright, after restarting your PC, you will observe that even if you don't write this line and if you run this code, your Firefox will automatically open. So you can give the system path for the exes. Okay, not just Firefox, any browser will open. Okay, all the browsers will work. Okay, all the browsers will work. Right. So you can import Chrome, import I, right. Now, and it will start working. If I run this code, all the three browsers will open up and they will be going to the respective website. Alright, so you have got objects, you create objects, and every object will have its own set of properties and you can use them. Right. Now the question which comes into the mind is that if I have to write a script which will work on all the browsers, which will work on Firefox, which will work on Chrome, or which will work on IE, will I have to write separate script for every browser? Because the driver for every browser is different. What if I want to write a script which can dynamically launch a browser and execute the script, execute the scenario on that browser? For example, I want to write one script which will work on all the browsers. I just don't want to create the objects of these classes individually. Okay, Firefox driver has got its own set of functions. Chrome driver has got its own set of functions, right? Because these classes are different. What if I have to see it's running on Chrome now? Okay. What if I have to, click on a link in Firefox, and if I have to click on the same link in Chrome, will I be making different script? Okay, it's working on I now, right? So the answer to that is no, you don't need to do that. Okay. And the answer to that comes up from the concept of interfaces. Okay. If you look at the course details, so tomorrow I will be talking about interfaces. I will also be talking about constructor, but a little later on. I will keep this in red. I don't want to talk about constructor right now. Okay. So interfaces they give you an option with which you can easily make a script and make it work on all the browsers. All right. Fine. So that's what in this course I will be talking about Java and I will be talking about Selenium parallelly. Like I told you today that how do we create objects, and then I told you how the concept of object is basically used in Selenium. In Selenium, everything is inbuilt. There is no rocket science involved. All the driver classes are inbuilt. Everything is inbuilt. You don't have to, invent or redefine something. It's not like that. You have to understand how these existing classes they work and what are the features in them. Okay, right. And I request you guys, whatever I'm training you on, please practice that every day. I'm not going at a very fast pace. I'm going at a very good pace. From day 6 or day 7, I will also start giving you exercises to do. Right. So please practice whatever I'm giving you. It will help you. All right. And uh, I'll stop here for today.